What's up, my peeps? It is Friday night. Today is, what's today? May 15th? Oh my God, it's almost end of May already. It's crazy. Welcome to Art Throwdown. I'm going to let Russell in as I do each night. I keep letting him come back. Hello, Ashley. What's up?
Hello.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Excellent. I'm going to just adjust my volume. I'm just working through the audio bugs here. So, unfortunately, those first two videos, I didn't get the audio. So I figured it out. I think I fixed it tonight. So we are good to go. So this should be the very first art throwdown that we have like video proof on YouTube that it exists. So
It's all good. It's all good.
just working the
Creative
kinks
Gal
out.
has joined. Welcome. We also have Anna. Welcome.
We see Phil
And
and lovely little Breeze joined. Hello. Hey guys.
so I saw that you sent out your Dunkin' Donuts card today.
I did. It has been claimed. Letters Stokery, also known as Letters to Carrie, claimed
Ha
it.
ha
She
ha
was
ha
the
ha.
first taker on that postcard, so I said okay. So it is. It is now heading out to Kansas. So very
Nan,
exciting.
also known as Hipsta, has joined us. Welcome.
Hey
Jim is
guys.
back. Hello.
Hello. Awesome. Oh, there she is. That's Carrie's alter ego is here. So it's still Carrie. Hello. Hello, Triche. Hey, guys. Awesome. Yeah, Carrie's like, I had to jump on that Duncan postcard because, Ashley was laughing earlier. Like, you make all these collages and, like, they're so detailed. And then you put out a piece of packaging and everybody's like, oh, me. So, that's just
But
how
it
it
did have
goes.
glitter on it.
It
That
did.
was the sealing grace of it, was
It
the
had
glitter.
embellishment. It did. No, it did. It did.
Well, I bought you. I went in and played undercover cop at Dunkin' Donuts,
Okay.
and so I went in and ordered a half dozen donuts because that's all I trusted myself to order. That I wouldn't eat all at once.
Okay.
Um, and then I told the poor cashier, I said, "Well, I'm giving these away, but I'm giving them away individually. So can I have 6 individual bags so I can put them in?"
Oh boy.
And of course, her wanting business said, "Sure." Um,
Okay.
yeah. So,
So it sounds like
and
I'm going
you
to be
have a
making six.
Dunkin' lid, cardboard lid that has been unsullied as well that I'm going to be adding to your package.
Oh boy, a Dunkin' lid. All right, all right. I'll see what I can do with that. Cool. Hey Pam. Pocono Pam just joined everyone. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so for the record, Letters Stokery, also known as Letters to Carrie, is her pen pal account. So this is her personal account. So, okay, good to know. Very good. Well, I have a couple of things I wanted to just talk about real quick at the beginning, Russ, if that's cool.
Sure.
All right. So, for anybody out there in YouTube land that is just joining us, or anyone out there who's new to this live stream, we do this every night. We've been doing this now for a couple of months. How long have we been doing this, Russ? Since late March?
I was
You,
going to say at least 4 weeks, but it may be longer.
I think it's longer than that. I think 6 weeks. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's been quite a while. We've been doing this for a while, maybe 2 months almost. I don't know. It's all been blurring together. But so for those of you out there in YouTube land and elsewhere, we do this every night. Monday through Friday, so weeknights, 10 p.m. Eastern. So people come in from all over the U.S., and sometimes we get some guest stars from all over the world that come in and watch and chit chat with us. So it's open to anyone. This is kind of like our digital craft clubhouse, and we work on all sorts of projects. So let's see. So there's a couple of things that are notable that I wanted to talk about real quick today. So today, being Friday, May 15th, is actually Mod Podge Day. So it is a thing, and I did not get a chance to tune in. My day was a bit busy, but they've Plaid Craft has been doing tutorials and stuff like that all day on their social media accounts. I think it's been on Facebook. Let's see. So Russ went to Dunkin' Donuts today, and it looks like you got a sandwich. How was it?
I didn't get sandwich. I got 6 donuts.
Oh, just the donuts. Okay, okay.
Yep.
Jim, I've been stalking you guys today on Instagram because I wanted to know what everybody was up to. So I have like my daily hustle list here. So let's see. Jim was the proud recipient and owner of a limited edition Kit Kat birthday cake flavor Kit Kat bar. Jim, I want to know in the comments, how was it? Did you try it yet? It looked different. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be brave enough to try it, but my hat's off to you if you did.
And I
Pam,
think that was
go
for
ahead.
his wife, Sean, who was celebrating a birthday.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, so maybe Sean ate it. Let me know how it was. I'm very curious. Whenever I see like a limited edition or unusual Kit Kat flavor, I'm always intrigued. Like, was it good? Would you do it again? Would you try it? Pam has been doing some beautiful things today using Procreate and doing things with digital layers. I've been watching. Jim did eat the Kit Kat. He said it was good, the limited edition birthday cake. So, and he got his wife one as well. So, all right. So, if I ever see that one out in the wild, I might have to try it. You gotta try
Patty
it
has joined
once.
us, otherwise known as Southern Stamp Queen, and she and I are going to be doing an interview tomorrow for the podcast of Looking at Stamps.
Very
So I'm
cool.
glad that she joined us tonight.
And I would also like to announce that officially, as of today, we are halfway to Halloween. So, just in case anybody was wondering, I do keep track of this stuff. And then finally, for those of you who are out there in the ether looking around for interesting things to try or at least look at on Instagram, Traveling Mail is one account that I follow. She has made a paper utility vest. I kid you not. And she got inspired by, I think the other Instagram she got it from was the Museum of Craft and Design, all one word. So that's another Instagram account. But it literally, if you go to her Instagram, it looks like a utility vest and it is so well done. Like she used a sewing machine on it. It looks like a scrap leather vest. And it's got postcards tucked into it. It's got stickers. It's got airmail stickers. It's got all sorts of stuff on there. And so for you paper crafters out there, it's just cool. I kind of want to make one now. I want to make a vest for myself out of paper. But anyway, I just want to point that out. It's Traveling Mail if you want to look at the one that she did. It's pretty dang impressive. And Ashley saw it too. It's awesome. It is awesome.
So let me piggyback on a couple of those things. The first is the Mod Podge Day. If you go to their Facebook account, all of their videos that they presented today are in their archives. So you can actually watch all the videos that you missed today because most of us were very busy today for some reason. You can actually view them on Facebook if you are still in Facebook. Um, the other two things as the caveat is that uh, for the sound didn't record on the first 2 episodes that we videotaped. And so
User error.
that's what Allison was referring to. That tonight's the first one that we're actually recording in video with sound.
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with your uh, YouTube channel. There's nothing wrong with your speakers. There's nothing wrong with anything like that. It's just that it just didn't record the audio for those
Yeah.
first 2 episodes. So tonight is the third test night for that. So we're ironing out all the glitches, and then we hope that tonight's episode will be the first one that we are able to post to YouTube. Um, and then the other thing with that is that go ahead and subscribe, and you can be notified of when new episodes are actually uploaded, because sometimes they take longer than others because it is an hour episode that we record. So sometimes it does take time to process, but Allison thinks she has that figured out as well.
I've got it
So,
down.
so just bear with us. Please no thumbs down. This is a happy place. So, if you like what we're doing, please just give us thumbs up. We're all about promoting positivity here, and so
And
so
free
please
craft
do that.
tutorials. Yeah, yeah. Thumbs up, baby. Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, this is this. Welcome to our digital crafting clubhouse. We work on different projects. Russ has far more variety in his craft repertoire than I do. I'm still somewhat of a newbie in some of my stuff, so I tend to stick to certain things like postcard collages or envelope making. And sometimes I paint, but I feel Russ surprises us like just about every night. I'm like, what's he gonna do next? So It's always fun to see what he drags out onto his craft board. And what's that, a monument, a statue? What you got there?
This is a Statue of Liberty vintage postcard. This is a linen
Ooh,
postcard.
beautiful.
Um, and Ashley, our friend Ashley, uh, had wanted me to try to design something to where she could make little booklets out of her vintage postcards that she sells at her store in Little Rock, Arkansas, which just reopened. We're very happy to say. Main Street Creative. If I'm going off of memory, I think that's it. But she has a consignment store there, and so yes, so that's what I'm doing today, and so I'm going to show one of two solutions today. And this is just called a pamphlet book, and this is a book that I've done before, in that um, what I do is one of the solutions is you could do it one of two ways. You could do this is just cardstock that's folded. Um, you could simply do a card that's larger than your postcard and adhere the postcard to the outside like that, and use those photo corners that she does when she makes her greeting cards. I find it a little bit more interesting to do it in the opposite way and make a little pocket
Oh,
so that makes it easier for the person to put in and take out the postcard. And then it leaves you room for the back to put tickets or to put some other paraphernalia in it. Um,
cool.
and so that, um, yes, so Ashley is correcting me. She has a booth at that store. So, but it is Main Street Creative, but she has a booth there. So that's what I'm going to work on today. This is just 10 sheets of paper that have been folded, and then they'll be stitched into this cover, very much like I stitched that new cover for that composition book. So it's going to be a basic pamphlet stitch. It's a 3-hole stitch, and you can put it together in less than 5 to 10 minutes.
Nice, easy peasy. And that
Yeah,
looks fabulous. I love the contrast with the blue on the vintage Statue of Liberty like cloud and sky
yeah.
background. That's beautiful. Awesome. All right. And then let's see, what have I got here? I am finishing up a couple of projects from last night. So one in particular, I was using scribbles and we were making scribble art. So literally just take a piece of white paper or cardstock or whatever you've got. This is actually the back of a piece of index card. Scribble it with whatever pen you want. Just use a black ballpoint pen here. And you can color with marker or colored pencil, color in the little individual closed areas of your scribble. And I actually have a postcard that I was starting. So this is a bunch of scraps that were glued on, and then I am cutting out all of these after I color them. And then, Russ, you mentioned a technique last night, and I am blanking on the name of it, but basically to spread Mod Podge onto something that has water-based marker, it was like a boop. What is
You
the name?
pounce it. Yeah, it's a stippling effect.
Stippling.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm learning a new craft term. This is stippling. So I'm going to take this piece of little plastic bag. This is one of those little air packs that comes in like a, Amazon package or box. So I'm going to roll it up. I'm going to dip it in my Mod Podge, and we're going to do some fancy stippling on this to make sure that the whatever areas that have ink do not smear. So that'll be my first project for tonight. And then the second project, because it is halfway to Halloween, and I think I will add hashtag halfway to Halloween because, I don't know, all the cool kids are doing that today, so I guess I'll do it too. I have a piece of, shoot, where is it? Oh, here it is. I have a piece of orange cardstock. I'm going to cut this down to a 4x6 standard size postcard, and then I'm going to start an early Halloween postcard. I know, it seems mad early, but for me, I want to get a jump on this right away because I'm excited about this. So I've got some different background pieces of scrap paper here, darker colors, a little purple because I like the black and purple effect for Halloween sometimes. Some old writing, some vintage numbers. This came off of an envelope. Like, we got lots going on here. So I'm going to attempt to start my Halloween postcard later once I finish the first one.
So Jennifer has joined. Welcome, Jennifer. Um, Jim, I see your question. I'll answer that in a second. Ashley, this is from Ashley's asking what thickness of the paper. Um, this is from a packet by Recollections. It is 65 pounds of the weight of the paper. So it's just a cardstock. You can use whatever weight of cardstock that you have. Just keeping in mind that the thicker the cardstock, the more difficult it will be to sew it. But this is just regular cardstock that you can get in any scrapbook store. And this is 65 pounds or 176 grams per meter squared, which is the other way it's measured. Wiggins Kate joined. Welcome. Or Wiggins Skate, whichever.
Hello.
I need your help
Welcome.
on that one. And so Jim has asked about the Bridezilla.
Oh.
So here is where we are with that. She still hasn't made up her mind.
Oh no.
And the wedding is a week from tomorrow. So so I hung up with her. I was on the phone with her for about an hour today. And so amongst other things that was going on in my day. So after I talked with her, apparently she had talked with her father, and her father in desperation gave me a call and said, here's what I want to do, and you can't tell her. I'm like, oh no, I don't know where this is going. I don't know if I like that. So he has agreed to pay full price with the exception of shipping and handling for the bouquet. So he wants me to finish the bouquet, but he's not willing to pay for shipping and handling. Wait for it yet. So,
What? What do you mean
yeah.
yet?
Well, here's the thing. He's afraid that his daughter is going to lose out on any bouquet because she's apparently pissing off the florists that she's dealing with as well,
Oh my
who
god.
have started to give her ultimatums as well. That we need to order flowers, we need to do all this, yada yada yada. So he's afraid that she's going to be without a bouquet, uh, and then she's going to make up her mind way too late that anyone can do anything.
Oof.
So he's going to buy the bouquet as is, as if I had shipped it out today. So we agreed upon the full price as if I had shipped it out today. And then next week, he will pay for the shipping and handling once he figures out if his daughter's going to use the paper bouquet that I'm making or the fresh bouquet that she's trying to order. So
Oh my
if
god.
if she uses the fresh bouquet, then he's going to give this to her as a gift after the fact, and so the shipping won't be as immediate, and we can take our time in the shipping of it, therefore reducing the shipping costs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
So,
This thing is hinky.
well, all I know is that he, true to his word, transferred the entire amount that I asked to my Venmo account within 30 minutes of having that discussion.
Okay, so he's kept his
So,
word at least.
so
That's
I've got
good.
my money.
He's like, I got
And
my money.
so, I've got my end of the bargain. I've got all the money that I would have asked for in terms of for production of this thing. And then all that he has to do now is pay for the shipping and handling once we can determine what that cost is actually going to be. But yeah, so I've got my money and I don't care what she decides now. All I
True,
have to
but
do is
like, talk about indecision. My goodness, it's like, pick one, like fresh or paper. Like, pick one type. At least. But no, to your point, you've got your money, and you know, you've got some closure there. Jeez. Bridezillas. By the way, I am wearing my King Elvis t-shirt that I talked about like a couple weeks ago. See, it does exist. This came from one of my favorite thrift stores of all time. I just had to point that out. So Carrie wants to know, when would you need to ship this bouquet to Bridezilla to
If she is to get it to
receive it?
her to have for her wedding on Saturday, I would have to ship it out on Wednesday at the ultimate latest.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, I can see why you don't do catering anymore, Russ.
Yeah.
Jeez. Ugh.
No, Carrie, they have to let me know on Tuesday, so that was the deadline I gave them. If they want it for the wedding, she has to let me know on Tuesday so that I could make the final preparations to send it out on Wednesday. So she can't let me know on Wednesday for sending it out on Wednesday. She is
Jeepers.
located in Palm Springs, California.
Oh my God. Okay. I have no words for that. That's just wow. Wow. I can't imagine though, like if she's doing that for the bouquet, at pretty much every other vendor, she's probably having a similar um, experience. Like I think other vendors are probably struggling with similar things with this person.
Well, I still don't know what kind of wedding she's going to have. Is she going to have a drive-by wedding? Is she going to have a Zoom wedding?
Yeah.
I don't know how many people are involved. Um, I don't know if I think that she's spending more time on this because she can't have all the other things in her wedding.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so she can't have the catering. I'm assuming. She can't take she can't have a rehearsal dinner. So there may be those kind of things. I try not to judge. I just,
Yeah.
and I do know that some women live their entire lives planning their wedding, and I don't mean that in a negative way. You know,
I get it. I was not one of them, and my sister was like, "Well, I feel like you're doing your wedding by the seat of your pants." I'm like, "I am."
it's,
Like I do most things. But I've got to think too, like getting married right now
right,
compared to other times is just the dynamic and what you can and what you can't do and like what is truly realistic. It's got to be so different than, non the non-COVID, the before four times.
right, and that's the thing, and that's why I even let her get this far.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing at Phil. Phil says the groom probably wishes it was a Zoom marriage, like zoom me out of here.
Oh, jeez.
Uh, but but yeah, and that's the only reason because I would have, I have been fairly adamant about saying no to this whole thing, and so I've been trying to be responsive and understanding of knowing that this isn't the wedding that she would have ever have planned because
Right.
of COVID.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to be responsive to that. But like I said the other day, is that why would you berate the only person that can help you?
Right.
you
Yeah,
know,
that's a little wild. Oops. All right, so for those who don't use glue sheets, I'm using a just random scrap piece of paper for my glue sheet, and this prevents me from getting glue all over my postcard and getting glue in places where we don't want it. So it's just can be any scrap of paper or sheet of paper that you want to use, but it just helps keep the postcard clean.
so just like that, I'm done. Have a good night, everyone.
Wow. That was fast. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the pamphlet stitch is one of the easiest bookbinding stitches there is. And so, Ashley, absolutely, I'm going to show
Yeah, can you show us what you did?
yeah.
Because obviously
So,
I was self-absorbed with my postcard, so I didn't watch the whole thing.
and so let me just flatten this out a little bit. And then what I would do is I would simply take a bead of glue and just put it in this open area here to seal it,
Okay.
being careful not to get the glue on your postcard.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's your little booklet. This is a booklet of 10 pages, which means you have 40 sides to write on. And there you go.
That is gorgeous. Now, are you planning on sending that to someone, or do you have plans for that, or are you
Well,
just
that's the funny thing.
think about it?
Because Phil commented on the other night of how he liked that I could go and just automatically, pull out these samples of things that I've done. I have a whole area in my foyer of just my samples. So so on projects like this is I will do this and then I'll just throw that on top and just leave it there, So yeah, I tend to hoard all these things just so that I can demonstrate to people what a finished product will look like, kind of thing. But so that's the finished product, and like I said, I would just run a bead of glue here or a small line of tape to secure that edge, and I would do that on both sides so that you have a pocket. There you go.
Cool.
And then you can take I used to do this. You go ahead and let me go get something from my stash. I'll be back in a second.
Okay. Cue dragging sounds. I think he's bringing like some massive, like art installation that he worked on. He's dragging it over right now. We're gonna get to see what it is. And while he's doing that, I'll show you guys. So this is my scribble art postcard with on top of the scrappy background. So this is a little different than the ones I usually make, but here we are. So I'm going to use the stippling technique that Russ mentioned. So that's going to be my next step on this one so that we don't get ink smearing, because I'm using these. I love these. They're from Toy Smith. These cheapo, water-based, little tiny inks. I absolutely love these. Hello, Landy. Welcome, welcome. All right. And for those of you folks that haven't found it yet, if you go to my profile here on Instagram, you can actually find the link, the YouTube link to the Art Throwdown channel. So now we can record all these things and we can actually store them and save them in case you ever want to go back to them for any reason. So yay. Yeah, actually it's a very happy looking, very bright, poppy looking postcard. So yay.
My friend Alex Crone has joined us. Welcome, Alex. Alex is the founder of the, help me, Alex, help me. Happy Hearts. Love Hearts Project. So welcome, Alex.
And what is, I got to ask, what is the Love Hearts Project? Is it a mail art project?
No, it's not. It's a lot more time that we have here, but it's a project that she founded that helps people look for positivity in their daily lives by searching for hearts that appear throughout the world.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah. And these are like hearts, like heart-shaped rocks, heart-shaped installations, and then what she does, she makes postcards out of them and raises money for her organization. And there's more to it. You can look at Love Hearts Project on Facebook. She has a website, and she also has an Instagram.
I'm looking this up.
Love Hearts Project. Yeah.
Thank you.
So this is what I want to get. This is a little book that I made, and I made this for not this one, but a similar one. I made this for a father who was a traveling salesman. I know that sounds funny, but he used to travel the U.S. and travel the world selling things. And he wanted something that was small that he could take with him, and it was a daily reminder of his family.
Oh,
And
nice.
so what I did was I made these little pockets
Yeah.
that he could put photos that are mounted on cardstock, uh, and that he could take with him so that he would always have his family with him. And so this was the prototype that I showed him, and that he can then prop this up like that on his dresser, or on the whatever the case may be, in whatever hotel he was in. And so and it's double sided so that he could have pictures on the front
Oh,
and on the
wow.
back.
That is an awesome concept. And I hear that, like being away from home and being away from family, like that you're in the hotel room in the middle of nowhere and probably some boring place. That is a super nice touch to have in your hotel room to remind you of your family and your loved ones. And yeah, like, I've got to think that makes it a little easier to travel. That is a cool
So
concept.
that's the same idea as this. So that's how the two are related. Um, and so that's how we get to this.
Cool.
Okay. Um, so let me get back to this. I'll do some explanations while you are working on your thing. Are you pouncing yet, or
I'm
what are
about
you
to
doing?
I'm about to start stippling.
Okay. So I'll let you stipple and let you concentrate on that while I do some of the explanations. How about that?
Wonderful. Okay.
So once you measure the size of your pages, what I did was I started off with the postcard that I wanted to use, and then I made the cover so that the postcard would fit inside. And once I had the size of the cover, then I could determine the size of the pages. And so the idea is that you want a little leeway on the top margin and the bottom margin and on the sides for your pages. So that's how we get the size, and that's once again dependent upon this. And this is an 1.5 turn in to make the little pocket. And once again, you don't have to have that. You can simply use photo corners and just mount your postcard like that if you want it to be affixed permanently to your little notebook. And then what you do is you take a scrap piece of paper that's the same size of your pages, and you poke holes in depending upon how many holes that you want. Now, for a notebook this size, 3 holes are sufficient. So, and then what you want is you want it about 1 inch from the top, you want it from about 1 inch from the bottom, and then you want somewhere in the center. And then you take your whole booklet open to the center page and the cover together. Then you take your awl, right? And you could even use your sewing needle to punch the holes if you want. I like to use an awl so I can have a little bit bigger hole. And then you just poke holes through all the pages and your cover. And that's how you get the holes in your pamphlet, in your pages and in your cover. How's that stippling working for you?
So far, so good. You could actually cover a lot of territory with this thing, as opposed to just, if I were to see if I've got one here. Maybe not, but let's pretend that this is my paintbrush. So instead of the paintbrush of just having to be like, wah, this thing actually, it covers a lot more ground. So yeah, I like this much better.
And the other nice thing about it, and you will see once it dries, is that you don't have brush strokes, but
Right.
you do have little ridges that are caused by this plastic that you're using. And so the light will catch it when you look at it at different angles, and you'll see
Cool.
these little ridges, which I think is kind of cool.
Now, one thing
So
I was thinking of doing once this Mod Podge dries is going over the top of the Mod Podge with some glitter, like clear glitter paint. I
yeah,
might do
that could
that.
work as well.
I'm thinking I'm feeling the glitter tonight. So
Okay.
it's Friday. It's Mod Podge day. So thinking that's what I'm gonna do
Did you ever get your glitter-based Mod Podge, your plaid product?
Not yet. I ordered it a
Okay.
couple days ago, so no, I did not get that yet. But I did. I don't know where the heck I put it, but I did get my Jelly Arts 8 by 10 inch jelly plate.
Jelly plate. Yep.
So now all I have to do is pick up some El Cheapo acrylic paint. What's that? Is it Apple Craft or Apple Tree or something like that? It's one of the brands. Folk
I
Art.
don't know of that one. I use Golden's acrylics, but
Okay.
but
I feel
and
like
there
there's
are
other
they are more
ones.
expensive.
Okay.
Do know that Martha Stewart has a less expensive brand of craft acrylics as well. But I know
Yeah.
which one you're talking. I want to say folk art. Is it like folk art?
It's actually so Plaid Craft owns Folk Art, and then
Okay,
there's
maybe that's
something
something
called
else
like
then.
Apple Tree or Apple Craft or something
Okay.
like that. It's also owned by Plaid Craft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Landy, I saw your question. I'll get to you in just a second. I'm going to finish showing this demo. Um, Patty says, does the Mod Podge just glue down, or does it make it smooth?
It depends on how you apply it. So right now, since I'm stippling and I'm kind of going up and down, and my paper is like wrinkly looking and it's got ridges, this will not make it be completely flat or smooth. But I use it as a sealant so that the pieces of your postcard will stay nice and flat and even when they go through the mail, so that they're not getting ripped up or tripped up within the mail sorting machine. But people do use Mod Podge for decoupage as well. So you might take a small piece of paper and then just paint the back of it with Mod Podge and then adhere it, and then put another layer. Once that dries or it sticks, put another layer of Mod Podge over top. It just depends on the type of paper you're using.
So, so now that you have your book, all the holes marked in your book, all you have left to do is to sew. What you do is you take thread. I do double the length of your book just so that you have enough thread. And this is bookbinding thread, but you can use embroidery floss if you separate it. Same kind of thing. And the only real trick to this is that you have to remember wherever you start is where you're going to finish. I like the knot to be on the inside of the book rather than on the outside of the book. But wherever you start is where you're going to finish, and that's where your knot's going to be. So what you do is you start in the middle hole. You're going to go through and you're going to come out the middle hole, and you're going to leave about an inch, at least an inch tail. Okay. And then you're going to go through either one. It doesn't matter. You're going to go through the other hole, right? And then you want to make sure that you pull the thread somewhat taut, but you don't want to pull it to where all of this is taken out. Okay. Does that make sense? And
So you
then
want
what
to
you're
leave a
going to
little
do,
bit of tail on the end of
right.
it. Okay.
But you don't want to pull this so strong that you lose your tail on the inside.
Right.
Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to cross over. Now, I don't have enough thread to demonstrate this. You're going to cross over to the last hole, and you're going to go back out, right? Right. So that's what's going to look on the inside. Okay. And then you're going to go back through that center hole. Now, here's where you want to be careful, because you don't want to snag the thread that's already there, right? So you want to come up on the other side of the thread that's there, and then you will just tie it off. Does that make sense?
I
Or do
think
I need
so.
to explain it?
No, I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense. So you started, I only saw like half of it. So you
Okay.
started on the
Well,
outside and you went
well, let
through
me.
to the middle, to the
What I'll
inside.
do is I'll do it with in real time. So
Okay.
let me get a.
Sorry.
No. This wasn't you. Um. Let's see.
And Pam says she uses Mod Podge on her glitter tumblers. That is cool. And yes, Nan, I do plan to demo the jelly plate as soon as I can buy some cheapy acrylics. So maybe next week at some point, you guys are gonna watch me try my hand at jelly.
Okay, so here we go. So once again, where you start is where you're going to finish, and where your knot will be. So you go through the center, and you leave about an inch tail, right? And then while you're learning this, what I used to do is I used to take a paper clip.
So you're kind of using it as a little anchor so it doesn't pull through the
So you
hole.
can't pull it through.
Yeah,
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah. So you just tie a little paper clip to that. Okay. So then you're going to go through either one of the remaining holes. You're going to pull this taut. Okay. Making sure not to pull out your tail. So that's what it's going to look like. Then you're going to go to the other hole. Okay, and so that's what it's going to look like. Okay, now here's where it gets a little tricky. So you want your thread on one side of your tail on one side of the thread. Does everyone see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to come back through that center hole, being sure not to pierce that thread that you already have there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go on the other side of the thread, so that when you tighten it, you have the two tails on separate sides of that center thread. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And then all you're going to do is you're going to tie it off with a square knot.
Okay. So the knot that you're tying, that's going to be on the outside
Inside.
that's the inside of the book.
Right.
Okay.
So wherever you start is where you're going to finish and where your knot will be.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you just trim off your ends.
Cool. Can you flip it over so we can see what the outside looks like? Aha. Okay, so then you've got the two long stitches there.
Right.
Got it. That looks
And that is a basic
snazzy.
3-hole pamphlet stitch. And you can do any odd number of pamphlet stitches. So that's what you want to keep in mind.
So the holes that you put in, it's always an odd number of holes.
That's correct.
Also good to know. Cool. All right, I'm going to show you guys the stippling, how my new stippling effect worked on the Mod Podge here. So let's see if you guys can see it. I'm going to try to get a little bit closer up here. Maybe you can see it. You can kind of see there's a little bit of texture here on the paper. It's not completely flat. I like this technique, Russ. It's really cool. I am going to now start putting my glitter paint on that. So I will be right back.
Okay, so let's get back to, I think it was Landy. I was asking about, do I sell my product? The answer is yes and no. I still have an Etsy store. I'm still trying to figure out the taxing of the new rules of Etsy. But I do take commissions. So if there's something special that you want, you can reach out to me and I can show you what options you have in terms of sizes, in terms of paper, in terms of decorative paper and stuff like that. So, so the answer is yes and no. But this was the demo of this particular, so the idea was a black and white kind of book, accordion book, that had pockets every other page so that he could put things in that weren't photos. And then once again, it is double-sided so that you can have more. So, and there you go.
So I have a mini zine that I have been working on now for 2 months, and every so often I kick myself in the butt in the morning, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go sit down. I'm gonna write a page of the zine. So I think at some point, because of it's one of those ones that you fold it out of a one standard size sheet of paper. I love your binding technique, and I feel like I should probably try it on that mini zine just to make sure that it stays together.
There is a way that you can, if it's the one I'm thinking about, is that the one where you make like 2 or 3 vertical slits? You fold the
Yes.
paper, right?
Yes.
If you leave that first and last side of the page available, does that make sense?
Yep.
So when you fold it up, you're gonna have 2 outer sides, right? Just like so. Let pretend that this is it folded up. You're gonna
Sure.
have one side that's this way that you would open it up to read all the other parts,
Yep.
and you'll have this one back here as well. If you keep those blank, you can glue those 2 covers so that it would have a cover to your zine.
Ooh, I did not even think about that.
Yeah. So if you leave this page blank and this page blank, you can then glue it.
Yep.
And then what you would do is you would do something very similar to this, is that you would put some ribbon between the, let me see if I can show you in this one, the last page and the cover.
Mm-hmm.
You see here, this is the last page
Right.
and this is the cover. You can actually glue a ribbon to it so that you can tie it off to keep it closed.
That is awesome. I didn't even think about those techniques as like possibilities. That would make it look super, super good. All right. So I just have to finish it. I'm gonna keep trying to stay honest, and it's one of those things. It's like I put it off. I'm like, yeah, I'll do another page like maybe tomorrow. And then a week later, I'm like, I still have not finished my zine. So that's my other one of those other never-ending projects. But I'm gonna get there. I promise.
Nan, the name of the the name of my Etsy store is NY Star STAR Cards CARDS. Right now, it's not popular because I've sold everything in it, but I still have to try to figure out. They changed all these rules for these taxes now that Etsy is required to charge taxes regardless of where it's being sent or where it's being mailed from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a mess.
Is this a recent change?
It's been the last couple of years.
Boo.
So I've got to figure that out, and so that's why I don't have anything in it right now. But I also used to sell my homemade coloring books.
I started looking into possibly opening an Etsy store, but then it was confusing because it's like, am I a hobbyist or am I like really a business? I'm like, well, I have not filed any like, LLC articles of incorporation for a small business, whatever, whatever. So, but then you have a certain number of years in which to, if you end up having to owe back taxes, you have to pay them. And I was like, oh God, I don't know. This might be like, this is too much too soon. So I started looking into the ramifications of doing that, and I was like, oh, it seems like a lot of work, man. I don't know.
So Phil is offering anyone that's following along a San Francisco Bay Area Postcard Club Postcard Week. So DM him if you want one.
Ooh.
Thank you. He says it's his contribution to the loyal followers of Fabulous Allison and Russ.
Yay. Well, thank you for that. That's cool.
This was the other thing. This was my other popular item. These are handmade coloring books. So this is a paper that I actually printed myself. This is screen printed paper.
Oh my gosh.
And what I used to do is I used to make these coloring pages. And would make these handmade coloring books. And so you can get them either with coloring lines or without. And so this was the demo book. And this is what it would look like. This is what it would look like with lines and without lines.
So,
So
Russ, do you still have piles of that stuff, like ready to go out, just not on a storefront kind of a thing?
not these. I sold out all of these, but I have all the basics to make more.
Got
So,
it.
and these are all hand drawn. So what I do is I take stencils, and use stencils to create the coloring lines. So, but these are all done with Sharpie. And then this is, let's see, these were illustrating, this was illustrating crayon here. And this was illustrating watercolor pencils.
Wow.
And this was illustrating markers.
I don't hear your neighbors yet, and we've got 9 minutes left. So,
She is awake. He's not. So she's up there. I can hear her up there, but she has much quieter footfalls. I think she's much more aware of
probably.
yeah than he is. Plus, it's Friday, so who knows? They may, who knows what's going on.
True. True.
So we have 8 minutes left. Another night that's just flown by.
Man. Yeah. Any other questions you guys have, or any projects you want to see again, maybe us work on, or something we haven't tried yet? I promise, once I get my acrylics, I do already have an ink brayer because I bought it one time on clearance at Hobby Lobby a while back, and I'm like, ooh, what's this? I might need this sometime. And then I stashed it away. So once I get my cheapy acrylic paints, I'm not going to spend a ton on them just because, we'll see how it goes. It's kind of experimental, but I'm going to be doing that once I get all my supplies.
Yeah, and the same thing for me. If you have recommendations of things you want us to do next week, please let us know.
Absolutely.
Did I answer everyone's question that asked me? I think I
I'm going to scroll
have.
back up just to be sure.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and Patty's right. All the states have different tax laws with regard to opening an Etsy shop. So I was just like, I started looking into it one time, and I'm like, I don't know if I have time to like devote to this. So I'm like, okay, being a Gemini, it was a great idea, but I know myself, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna back away from this, and maybe some other time, if I really get serious about it, like go back to it.
Well, that's the thing, because Etsy, let me. eBay sends the taxes on your behalf, so they collect the taxes for you, and then they send them to the appropriate local authorities.
So it's
So
it's pretty clean. Like with the eBay, you don't have to worry about that angle of it.
right, and so Etsy's a little bit different, is that they collect it, and I don't know if they require you to report it, or if they send it for you, or they require you to collect it, put it in a separate bank account, and then you send quarterly the taxes that you've collected. So
Right.
that's the difficulty. So Ashley is coloring in her new Nature Escapes coloring book, and she's using brand new colored pencils. So that's exciting. And it looks like Jim had finished coloring his page tonight.
Nice, nice, nice. I'm going to go back to that nature coloring book, I think, Russ, and I'm going to look for yet, I was thinking about this earlier, I'm going to look for yet another page that has this black background because I made a beautiful envelope out of the first one that I colored, and I love the contrast, like this is a piece of it. This is one of my scraps, but I need to go back through that book and find the pages that have this black background and do more of these. So
Yeah, Pam is learning on Procreate, which my hats off to you. I couldn't figure it all out, and so I tip my hat to you, Pam, because that took a lot more patience than I was willing to donate to it. And so I'm very happy that you're having the success that you are with that. Um, Jennifer is still working on her card for the 10-year-old.
Yay.
Um, and Ashley, your best friend, believe it or not, with those new um, water colored pencils is going to be an electric pencil sharpener. Believe it or not, if you have the ability, buy one because it's going to save you a lot of heartache in sharpening your pencils. And it's so funny. I've never realized how people differ on their take on colored pencils. I like mine to be really, really sharp. Some people like theirs to be duller and rounder edges. But I like mine, sharp, sharp ends. So that's interesting as well.
Yeah, same here. I like them sharp. Cool. Well, so then once we conclude this live stream, it is going up on the YouTube channel. So if you guys need to refer back to it for any reason, it'll be there, and the rest of them will be there. So I think I did this right tonight, and I think I actually got the microphone working on my screen capture for this. So just working out the bugs. Oh, Southern Stamp Queen joined. Hello. Yeah.
Phil, the answer to your question is I'm going to do some variation on this now that I've worked out the size. So that's what I'm going to do. I haven't figured out quite yet how I'm going to do it, but I want a big letter postcard with a positive message because a lot of things are negative right now. So, um, um, so Pam, you're asking for watercolor next week. I'm confused. Watercolor pencils. What do you want
Will
me
you both
to?
share watercolor, like watercolor projects?
Phil says Obama come back. I have a whole series of Obama cards, postcards. I'll send you one, Phil. Phil, do I have your address? If not, send it to me. Um, so yeah, Pam, let me know what it is about watercolors you want us to share.
Yeah, so I finished my art postcard. I didn't even get to my Halloween postcard tonight, and here it is. Let's see. I think we got like 2 minutes left. So,
Well, if you weren't so self-absorbed in what you were doing, you could have worked
right,
faster.
right. I'm man, and I don't know. I don't know about this YouTube channel thing now anymore. I don't know. And yes, Pam did confirm she wants any watercolor demo. Well, the only thing that I can really do with watercolor, except for that one botanical thing I painted, was like I like to take Avery labels, the little round white ones, and I like to paint them like different color layers, and then I use them on my envelopes. But I I have a never-ending project. It is that 80s candy one. Maybe I will work on sketching it this weekend so I can actually paint it because that one is another one that I need to do. So,
Pam, I got you covered. I'll show you a couple things next week on watercolors. We're getting ready to kick off. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
he's going to bring all his
everyone.
installations too of watercolor. I can't wait to see all these.
But thank you for joining. It's always a pleasure having you here. And we know you have choices of where to be. And we do appreciate you spending the time with us each night.
And we'll see you Monday back at 10 p.m. Eastern for another Art Throwdown. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.